they misunderstand that Abraham's seed from Isaac, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, just not being Abraham's seed. This is bloodline. And when you're in Christ, the Gentiles were able to come in through Christ and receive what we as a nation of Israel has in our blood. You understand the difference? Verse 9.
For this is the word of promise, and at this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son.
Verse 10.
And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac.
Verse
For
11.
the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to the election might stand, not of his works, but of him that called.
But of him who calls. And this goes back to what I was just talking about here, that Abraham had other sons. Isaac had other sons. But it was not about those guys. It was the promise. Abraham told, the Most High told Abraham that you will have a son through Sarah. But he had already had a son through Hagar. Not her. That's not the promised seed. That's not the line. So when he had Isaac, when you go into Genesis 25, you look at the verse, Genesis 24, part of Genesis 25. This Bible says that Rebekah was barren. And Isaac began to go to the Most High and pray to ask for Rebekah to have a child. Rebekah got pregnant, according to Genesis 25. And then he tells her, but she was going through much labor pains. And the Most High said, you're doing that because you have two nations in you. And the elder shall serve the younger. I've already chosen that promise. So this is what he's talking about here in verse 11. Read that again.
For the children being not yet born, neither have done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to election might stand.
According to election. See, you will have been elected to be the children of Israel, and you didn't do anything to earn it. You didn't convert. You didn't make up in your mind. Our forefathers didn't make up in our mind and say, you know what? You know what? I'm going to start studying Judaism. No. It's not what happened. You see back in Deuteronomy 32 where he said, no, I'm going to put these angels over these nations, but I'm going to pick me one out. And this is why when you go back into Genesis 9, when it tells you that when Ham went in and saw his father's nakedness, when Shem and Japheth went in backwards, when it came out, the Most High told, what's your name told him, he said, the God of Shem shall be blessed. The God of Shem. But then he didn't say that when he said the rest of them. He said the God of Shem. Abraham came through Shem. Isaac came through Abraham. Jacob came through Isaac. Bloodline. Today's lesson. Religion versus bloodline. Verse 11. No, verse 12.
It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
He said, what?
As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
Have I hated. Now, you about to learn something about old Esau right here. Let's go to John the 8th chapter. And yes, Father, I saw that. Keep watching. Tough, ain't it? Precept after precept, though. John the 8th chapter. Let's look at verse 37. John the 8th chapter, we're going to look at verses 37 through 47. It's rough, ain't it? But it is what it is. John the 8th chapter, verses 37 through 47. Give him verse 37 right there.
I know that ye are Abraham's seed, but ye seek to kill me, because my word hath no place in you.
My word has no place in you. So he's telling them right now, see, he said, listen, I know you Abraham's seed, Esau. See, what people misunderstood about these verses is because what they didn't understand is that Rome had taken over Israel at this time, Judea at this time. And what they had did was, if you go back into Hosea, and you go back into the amount of prophets, you will see that because Levi began to sin, The Bible told, Most High told Levi that you would no longer be priest to me. So there was only a couple Israelite priests that were left. Case in point, John the Baptist's father. Case in point, Nicodemus, Joseph of Arimathea. These was a couple of Israelite guys, and all the true Israelite guys was with Christ. And many of these so-called Pharisees and so-called Sadducees, they were not Israelites. They were Edomites. Just like Herod. He was an Idumean, a Roman, an Edomite. You understand? And those same people, Herod, if you go back in Matthew the 2nd chapter, was trying to kill Christ. When you go over to Revelation the 12th chapter, you see that the dragon sought to kill Christ as soon as he was born. So why would they try to do that if they wasn't with the dragon? You're going to find out here. Verse 38.
I speak that which I have seen with my father, and ye do that which ye have seen with your father.
You see? You see how Christ is separating the two? See, I know who with my father, and you do what is in your father. Verse 39.
They answered and said unto him, Abraham is our father. Jesus said unto them, If ye were Abraham's children, ye would do the works of Abraham.
You would do the works of Abraham. And see, the reason why people misunderstood those verses, because they thought he was talking to Israelites then. So, he was talking to Edomites. He was talking to Idumeans. Yes, they was Abraham's seed. They were Esau. We're going to talk about that in the weeks to come. But I need you to see right now the difference between religion and bloodline. Because right now, he's separating the two. He said, if you was able to read that verse for him again.
And they answered and said unto him, Abraham is our father. Jesus said unto them, If you are Abraham's children, ye would do the works of Abraham. But now ye seek to kill me, a man that told you the truth, which I have heard of God. This did not Abraham.
Abraham didn't do that. Abraham didn't try to work against the things of the Most High. So how are you saying that you're Abraham's seed? You're doing the things of Abraham. Abraham is your father. When you're doing the exact opposite of what Abraham did. Kind of funny, right? What we at verse 41.
Ye do the deeds of your father. They said unto him, We be not born of fornication. We have one Father, even God.
Okay, verse 42.
Jesus said unto them, If God were your father, ye would have loved me. For I proceeded forth and come from God. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me.
Now, see here, note right here. This kills the whole idea that people saying that Jesus was God. Okay? Another verse that kills the whole idea that Jesus is God. John 14:28. He also goes into detail again and says, I am not equal with the Father. Ephesians 1:19. We serve the God of Jesus Christ. Right? But because Gentiles taught us, as the slave masters told us one thing, we adopted these things and thought it to be true. But when we read the words of Christ, we see Christ never called himself God. He never pretended to be God. Read that verse with him again.
If God were your father, you would love me, for I proceeded forth and came from God. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me.
But I didn't come myself. He sent me. Okay? He sent me. Verse 43.
Why do you not understand my speech, even because ye cannot hear my words? Ye are of your father, the devil.
You are who?
Ye are of your father, the devil. And the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth.
That's right.
Because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing, isn't it? That's amazing. That he called it. Read it for him again. Because I don't want people to think. You see, I hope this is in your Bible. I hope you're reading along with us.
Ye are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do.
That's who you are. Okay? He's telling those particular guys, those particular Pharisees, yeah, you might be Abraham's seed, but you are of your father. And you're going to learn in the weeks to come, when Esau began to differ into the things outside of what Isaac had taught him, the children that he had went way off. You're going to learn that in the weeks to come. So stay with us. And we're going to give you a precept right after this where Christ confirmed this again in Revelations. Keep going. Go on down to verse 45.
And because I tell you the truth, you believe me not.
Uh-huh.
Which of you convinceth me of sin? And if I say the truth, why do you not believe me?
Uh-huh.
For that is of God, hear God's words. Ye therefore hear them not, because ye are not of God.
Because you are not of God. And you have never seen Christ say that to any other person in this Bible. He was only talking to those Pharisees. And that's why Paul was talking about it. Say, everybody that's of Israel ain't Israel. Don't get it twisted. Everybody that's walking around in this whole uniform, don't think that you Israel. And that's why when we went in Titus, and Titus, the first chapter, verse 14, he says, go not into Jewish fables, commandments of men. The only time the word Jewish is mentioned in the Bible, the Most High tells us don't go in that direction. Because that's the commandments of men, Judaism, and of the Most High. Now, I know some of you are shaken up by that. I know some of that is something that you have never heard before. And you say, you think I'm just adding my opinion into it. Let's go to Revelation 2. We're going to look at some more stuff when Christ begins to add on to this same thing.